Welcome back, everybody. So, today, excuse me, I had a piece of ice. Today, we're going to go make a quick video just to show the basic setups of ISBoxer, Inner Space, and multiple instances of WoW on a single computer. A lot of people want to get into it and want to go, and they see these YouTube videos and they're so drawn out. And same thing as me. I only started multi-boxing 2 weeks ago. In doing that, it was so overwhelming with all the options, all the features, everything that they had available. So I'm a clicker. I'm not even a multi-button 10 mouse macros and all this other shit. I don't do that. I click what max DPS tells me to click, and I play a while and I have fun. But on top of that, seeing what people can do with multiple accounts, multiple characters, one-shotting bosses, uh, doing transmog runs and having 5 chances as opposed to 1 chance to get the piece that you want, and maybe walking out of there with the mount, 5 out of 1 instead of 1 out of whatever. So today's is going to be very basic. It's going to show you how to, once you have Inner Space and ISBoxer installed, you have to find that out from the ISBoxer website and get your trial account, install it, and that's where we're going to pick up from. To the point where I've even taken my WoW folder, as you can see, in the WTF, I have no configurations, no accounts. So that being said, there are a lot of add-ons that have been in here, but I will explain those as we go along. DBM, Rare Finder, all that other bullshit. But there's one in particular that we'll look at as we go along. But this is just the basics. This will get you in the game as many accounts as you want to run, all smooth, all clicking the mouse, and maybe using 4 keys on your keyboard. Now, it's not the most proficient way of doing it. It's not the most skilled way. It's not the most advanced way. But if you're looking into getting into multi-boxing, this is going to get you up and running in the matter of minutes. So, with that being said, I will even show you that my ISBoxer, when you first load it, is going to be completely empty. Right? Just like that. No characters, no sets. All of this, it just, if you try to read into it, try to look into it, it's just so overwhelming. It's even the most advanced multi-boxes, when you look online, don't know what half this shit on here is, and they won't use it. Some do know what it is, and it's just, there's more proficient ways of using the items, such as in-game macros, in-game add-ons, EMA add-on, which is an add-on just for multi-boxers. It actually does all your, without, I don't want to say automation because automation is against the terms of service with WoW, but it does all of your repeating for you. ISBoxer is not a bot. It cannot read, it does not know, and it has no insight whatsoever as to what is going on in game. What it does know is what your keyboard and mouse are doing. So that's pretty much what ISBoxer is. ISBoxer is a repeater. So whatever you do on one screen, you can tell it to repeat that on another screen. Or you can tell it not to repeat certain things by turning on and off the repeater, which is something we'll review as well. But just to get straight into it, you're going to open up ISBoxer. You're going to make sure Inner Space is loaded. It's already been loaded. You look down here, you'll see it in, let me switch this up so you can see it. So down here at the bottom, you'll see Inner Space. There's no character sets. There's nothing there. Actually, there is. So let me export to Inner Space. Bam. Now, I thought I cleaned everything. I want to make sure I'm starting fresh so you can see exactly how to go about doing it. I'm going to enjoy my coffee while we do this. Now, this video will be cut, chopped, shorted up, and summarized and put on the YouTube later with all my yapping and drinking and farting and burping and bullshit aside. Okay, so now you can see that when you load it up, there's nothing there. So this is how it should be. You don't want to ever just click on World of Warcraft and click client, all these other things and launchers. You don't want to do anything in there. When we get to this point, you're going to see where it says sets, which will coincide over here with your character sets that we're going to make, and it's all very simple. And then you can click on that, sit back for a second, let it all load up, and it doesn't matter what your computer is. I'm running i9 T1080s. It's the graphics, it doesn't matter. It's going to take a moment to load everything up. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is, even though you want to jump right into ISBoxer or Innerspace, you want to open up your Battle.net. And the reason why I say this is, say that right now we go ahead and do the quick start. Is what you're going to do anyways. You're going to go all the way down to World of Warcraft, and you're going to hit next. It's going to say from WoW. It's going to have nothing listed there. The reason for that is you haven't loaded, or I've wiped my WTF folder in WoW clean, so it can't read anything from the WoW folder. There's nothing there to read, so there's no characters. You can watch some YouTube videos and figure out how to enter them individually, but we're not going to worry about that. We're going to do this the easy way. So first off, exit ISBoxer, exit Innerspace. You don't want either one of those loading. You're going to open up your Battle.net. Now, I have multiple accounts. So the first one I'm going to do is, on every account, I'm going to log in. I'm going to log into the character, open up the inventory, mess with it for a second, and log right back out. And you're going to do this for every account. The reason why you want to do that is, as soon as you log in, it is now creating a file, a WTF file, and folder for this character. I'm going to mute the desktop audio. Yep. Load anyways. Yep. Whatever errors you get, just go with it. Alright. So, good to find out. I actually just transferred this character over, so I'm not sure what's going to happen when I click on him. He's probably going to have a lot of bullshit missing and going to piss me off. But anyway, so this is the main account. This is going to be my main character. So I'm just going to load into him. And I'll show you settings that you have to make. ISBoxer has a known error right now that if you do not run the client in full screen window, that you'll run into a problem when you launch your character sets, that it won't launch everything, or to error out, or it'll malfunction in one way or another. So, and I'll explain these other add-ons over here in a bit. But first you can go to systems. It's going to have everything at high. Just to start off good, I'm just going to drop everything down to 4. The reason for that is it'll reduce the lag, at least while doing this video, because I'm streaming, encoding, and uploading all at the same time on this same computer. So once you're in, graphics, full screen, window, make sure that they're all at the same setting. So they should automatically all default to the exact same thing, but just in case, what is it, 1920 by 1080. Everything else. Oh, another thing you want to do: disable sound immediately. You can go back, and if you want sound on one of your characters, or you want the ambient sound on, you don't want to run into where all of your instances are running the sound at the same time. It's, especially when you start doing storylines, turning in quests, then you're overlapping, and sometimes it'll bleed through. Even though the window's not supposed to bleed through the sound, you will actually sometimes hear the audio from a I'm going to call a minimized window. So the best thing to do is just disable the sound on these first steps until you get it turned back on. Now later, I'm going to go ahead and enable it because I know which ones. This is my main account, so this is the one I'll be leading the rest of the team with. So on this right here, I turn off the music. I leave the dialogue on. I turn off the ambient noise. I don't care for that. Don't care for that. Don't care for pet sounds. I don't care for the music. Just the dialogue, sound effects. That's it. And actually on this one, I'll turn the music up. I'll turn down the volume overall though. I wish there was a way to disable this, but unfortunately, it's going to attempt to connect anyways. Back in the 7.0 days of WoW and before, they actually had a disable, but it automatically attempts to connect the voice. I don't know what all this shit is that loaded. As soon as you get into the game. So that's pretty much all you're going to do initially on here. The rest of it you're going to do later, but you're going to do it to all the accounts at the same time. So turn the game. Oh, let's just move this shit up here. Menu, exit. You're going to go to the next one. Can't go to number 2. Back in the day, I tried something other than boxing, and let's just say number 2 is not playable. I did a lot of transfers, so I'm hoping every one of these are still working. I'm hoping no one's pending at the moment. Oh, that's the Azeroth autopilot trying to figure out where the hell I'm at in the quest line. Same ordeal. Go here. Systems. It's already down at 4, so it remembered exactly what I needed. Full screen window. Let's go to sound. On this one, I'm turning off music and dialogue. Actually, on this one, I'm not going to enable sound at all on that one. And if you want, disable all except for later. You want them, or right now, IS Boxer. IS Boxer is the only one that you need enabled initially. I forgot to do that in the other account. And now you won't have to, when we get into this, continuously multi alt tabbing, alt tabbing, alt tabbing. It's gonna, everything's gonna look really great. So disable all. IS Boxer is the only one you need. Enter the world. Doesn't take too long. Add-ons. Disable all. Make sure IS Boxer is enabled. Log in. Oh, I forgot which one was which. I believe this is the one I'm going to run with. Also, make sure that the characters in the group, if you're just going to be running one group, make sure they're all at the top of the list. It makes it a lot easier for you to repeat your mouse movements later to log in immediately when you log into all the accounts. 2, that's right. Exit. Exit. Let's go back in here really quick. We don't need to log in. Just want to fix the add-ons real quick. Take all the extra bullshit out of the way. Put the desktop audio back. You know what? Just for the purpose of the stream, you gotta have some music, right? Disable all IS Boxer. There we go. Menu, exit. And now you can actually exit the loader. Make sure it's not open down at the bottom. So now what you're going to do is you're going to open up Interspace. Interspace is technically it's like Windows or a virtual machine, or however the hell you want to consider it. It's its own little thing that runs all these instances together. Nothing's in there. Okay. Now you open up IS Boxer. This is where things, to some people, get overwhelming. So in theory, now I'm going to open this over here. And bam. So my retail, WTF, has a config file in there. It has all the accounts in there. Now, you're just going to go and simply do quick setup wizard. World of Warcraft, next. So before, you notice it didn't have anything located here for the World of Warcraft. Now it has by realm everything that I want, everything that it found as I was loading. So the first one I'm going to load is Valmart, right? Over here on the right hand side is where is the only thing that you need to change. If you want to use the launcher, what this is going to do is going to cause, first off, it causes a big delay, but because what it launches the launcher, then you've got to select the account, log in, and boom, just select DirectX 12 or 11 if that's all you got on yours. If you don't have 12, then you probably should only be doing this with 2. I don't know how that works, but this video is going to be full of a whole bunch of trust me's. If you want to learn this shit, that's what YouTube's advanced videos are for. There's a million of them out there. So this is to get you up and running. If you notice, it says the account, all this information over here. Don't fill in the bow.net account, anything, because they're all the same. Now, if you're running multiple accounts, it may have something written in there or not. I don't know. So either way, you have to hit add character to the team, right? And then I've got to figure out which ones are on what teams here. So that's going to be my main one. And then I want to add him as my second window. And then Walmart's help we logged into. Bam. And then Gina Bear. Bam. And then pet. Right, so that should be 8, 7, 5, 4, import. Okay. And to make sure you don't have 2 of them on the same account. Now, don't worry about these numbers up here. This number is coincides with the ID that Blizzard has assigned your account, even though you might see WoW 7, like on this one is obviously WoW number 5, but the Blizzard ID is their internal database number, so don't mess with those right there. All you're going to do now is hit next. So you have your team down here of however many you're going to run. So I'm going to run a team of 5. Each of them's on a different account. They're all running DirectX 12, and then I'm going to hit next. What do I want to name this? 5DK, oops, 5DKs carried. Actually, I'm going to call it 5DKs 470. So this is where some people can mess up your frames per second. So it all depends on your video card. If you have one monitor, two monitors, as you can see, I've got 2 different displays here. If you have 2 displays and you want to run it on 2 different displays, you got to remember you're using one video card to do so. So I'm running one video card. I'm not using the onboard. I've disabled it, but on the 1080, I am pushing it out. I'm going to use one monitor. Now, the reason for that is you can have all these different setups, right? So I'm going to use one monitor. Bam. With a gap. All right, so what this gap is, this gap leaves room for your taskbar at the bottom. Now, I'm running 5 accounts, but you notice it says 6 up here. The reason for that is I know what character is in each one of these here, right? So if I click on number 2, which is technically account, so this is actually accounts number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the order in which you added them. So if I click on number 2, this window right here will become blank. There will be nothing there. It won't shift, it won't rotate, it doesn't move to window number 1. It shows in window number 1, but it leaves that spot blank so that I always know what character I have active. If you use a prior setup, like with 5, then whenever you click on 2, everything rotates. They'll constantly rotate. They'll constantly just keep going around, so you'll lose the position, won't be the same every time you go back. So say I want to run back, my whole team's getting their asses handed, some PvP dude came up out of nowhere, and I need to get onto the main, or one of the guys that's set up for PvP and wipe him. I know exactly where he's at. He's going to be in number 5. I'm going to tap 5, take care of the fight, and then get back into the game, revive it, whatever I got to do to get out of there. Also, I know which number has enchanting, which number has mining, or skinning, mining, jewel crafting, each of the skills. So if I come up to a node somewhere, I don't have to figure out which, okay, well, flip through them to find the right one. It's just easy for me to click on the guy that I'm at. So I do this right here. So if running 5 accounts, make sure you have one higher number of however many accounts you're running under yours. Again, there's multiple, there's all types. You can run them on 2 screens. I mean, it's going to come up to preference. You don't have to run it full screen. You can run them all the way around. To me, this right here is just annoying. I like to keep them all at the bottom. Where are they at? And I like to leave the space for the taskbar and the extra one here. So on the right hand side, it's going to have cross monitor swapping. If you want to use 2 monitors and you want to have all of them set up on the side, like one of these features are, I know it's in here somewhere. Bam. So this is going to be your focused one. These are all just going to be followers, pretty much. Cross monitor swapping allows you to click on one and then it moves it over. Now you got to think this, even though you got 2 monitors, and yes, you can pull a window to and from the other monitor, just like this is on the other display now, and now it's back over here. There's 2 different cords, so it actually takes more processing to do so. Some people advise, if you're going to do that, use 2 video cards with Thunder, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. But again, I'm not getting into the details of everything. I'm showing you how I do it. If you don't like it, move on. If you do like it, Great. I'm just here to get you started on it. You're going to hit next. This is where you can change a lot in your lag and performance. In the background windows means the window that you're not playing with. Okay, so you're going to always be playing on one main account. The rest of them are all going to be small, as you saw in the previous picture. Whoops. I might want to make sure that stays. Right? They're all small. Now, this doesn't mean that they redo the resolution. They're just scaled down, but they're always rendered at the whatever I think I had it at 1920 by 1080. They're just scaled down in that display, so that there's no additional processing whenever I make it to a larger size. So the ones in the background do not need to be running at 60 frames per second. They don't even need to be running at 30 frames per second. Honestly, they can run at 20. The thing is, frames per second is also actions per second. So you got to think about it. Every second, how many actions does the game represent? So people think, oh, it's frames per second, is just how smooth your screen is. It's not really just that. There's a lot more to it. So 20 frames per second is 20 actions per second is a way you can think about it. So if you're trying to click multiple spells, you're trying to do healing, you're in a boss fight, and you're trying to do 5 accounts and everything else, and they're all at, say you want to put it down, oh, why don't I just put it down at 5? Well, that's 5 actions just going to pick up within that second. So if you're trying to move the mouse, click on a spell, and then tell them to follow you, target your or assist you, face the target, and attack, something's going to get missed. So you don't want to do it that way. What you need to do is you need to keep it at least at 20. That way it has enough to screw the graphics. It may skip a little. I mean, 20 frames per second is not bad. It's really not bad. But for clicking, it's the most basic, and it's going to give you a big performance boost. There's no reason to have it at 60. 30 is the recommended. 20 is fine. That's why I run all of mine at. All right, so down here, all cores with every window. Don't touch any of that shit. You want to know what it is? Just look it up on YouTube. There's a video that explains all of it. There's a way that you can assign multiple cores or segregate the cores per instance so that your CPU, I can put, since I'm running 5, I can give, 1 core dedicated to each instance of the game. There's supposed to be a performance boost in it. I don't mess with it. Everything runs just fine for me. All right, so right here, another thing some videos are going to tell you, don't mess with. But I'm going to tell you to mess with them right now because it's going to help you out in the long run. So, broadcast toggle, you don't need it. You're going to have buttons that you can actually click on. So, don't worry about that right there. Broadcast mode starts on all windows. Definitely don't want that. What that means is, as soon as you open up a window, you move a mouse, you're moving the mouse on all of them. So if you're trying to move action bars, it screws up the action bars on all of them. You only want to turn on broadcast and repeater when you need it. So I leave all that shit off, enable the action bar overlay. Okay, like I said, I'm a clicker. So that means if I click in anywhere in this bar that it's going to show up, it's going to click that on all the other accounts. So follow me. They say to do Alt F. I don't do it that way. For me, it's easy. I keep my fingers on the 1, 2, F1, F2, F3, right? And the reason for that is F1 will be assist me. So just change that. Follow me is F2. Interact with target, F4. Reason for that. You have your fingers like this right here, right? And you have your mouse over here. If you hit 1, 2, 3, 3 doesn't do anything, right? But it's just, that's just how my fingers are on there, right? They're going to follow you. They're going to assist you. That means that they're targeting who you're targeting. If you then move your finger over and hit F4, they're going to walk up to your target. So say they're following behind you and you have a melee group. They have to be within distance. When you're following people, you're never within distance of anyone. So you're just out of distance. You have to get closer. You can't tell this isn't a bot. It's not going to move your character closer for you. But if you add tie in a command. So F4 is an actual built-in command in WoW. It will interact with the target, meaning that the character will walk to the target and try to interact with it. If interacting means swinging a sword at it, then that's what it's going to do. But then it allows you to continue over here on your action bars, clicking, and it will then repeat that on all the other characters. But now that you've told it to follow you, you've told it to assist you, which means it's following you, it's now got your target, and then F4 is now walking up to whoever your target is. Then you can either click to attack, or if it was a window in which they had to turn in a quest or quest giver or whatever, it will actually open up the dialogue on every one of the accounts. So I put that on all of those. All right, so I don't press any of this stuff. I'll interact with target when broadcasting these keys. I don't mess with anything there. That's it, right? F2, F1, F4. Now, I did have, if you have Alt-GR keys on your keyboard, you know you do if you've got them. You bought the keyboard just for it if you did. There's more settings, but again, not going into all that. Bam. So that's done. The basic setup is complete, but you can't run it yet. So the first thing you're gonna do is go over here and you're gonna hit save, right? So under characters, you will see all your characters that you've added, not all the characters it sees, but the ones that you've added. Character sets are the teams. So on this team, down here you'll see all these guys down here. None of that shit matters. Well, I mean it does if you want to dig into it more, but you want to go straight down to menus. Actually, I think you want to go to your character set. Sorry. You want to go to menus, right? When you're on menus, make sure you're on your character set, because this is saying what menus are available to your characters. Now, the standard is an overlay that goes up above your standard 1 through $, the 12 keys that you would normally see for clicking on your spells and your casting stuff at the very bottom left, right? Your toggle are buttons that turn on and off broadcast, on and off repeater. Formations, if you want to do the little star formation, stuff like that, it adds it to it. Read it up on YouTube. If you want to come back to it, you can always come back to it, hit save and export it, and it's going to be right there. Now I add standard alt, right? What that does is it gives me another 12 keys, an overlay that I can move, and you'll see it in game, and put it on top of the other action bar. So when I click it, it clicks it on those as well. So that is all that I do on here, I believe. Now if I click up here and back, it should be all of them listed there, right? Let's go to menus, standard alt, yep, 5 DKs. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Now there's probably something I'm missing that I'm gonna have to come back to. But while we're in here, let's look at key maps. Always on, activate maps, activate repeat. That's another thing. So this is the repeater. So whenever you move your mouse around, if you activate repeater, it moves the mouse around on all of your other screens. I don't like hitting Shift Alt R, and I don't like hitting the little toggle button up there at the top. It's very easy for me to just hit F5 because my fingers are there for F5, and then I have a macro that's on mouse wheel down that will automatically shoot the loot-a-rang for everyone on the team, and they will all loot, and that'll be the end of it. So it's up to you what you put this as. For me, it's 5. And then I also need to figure out where invite team is at. Party. Face hotkeys. Invite team. I have is F8. Face forward, interact with target, turn right, star formation, all jump, F1. That should be. So you don't change them under here, under the individual accounts. You can add your menus under here. But if you ever want to change the keys, you change them under the key maps, and you always on is this is probably the only one you actually change if you want. You only want to mess with things that say hotkeys at the end. The rest of it is all just whatever. So I'm going to save, and I'm going to export to Interspace. And now it's going to come up and tell you all the things that are wrong with your application per character. So apparently it's set to full screen mode and not full screen window mode. It's going to make that change. The game apparently has, I didn't change the background and foreground settings for the frames per second in the game. ISBoxer is going to make the change for me. Doesn't have any sub accounts saved anywhere because I deleted everything. This is fresh. I'm just going to say yes to each one of these so it can make whatever changes it wants, and then bam. Now when you come over here to Interspace, you'll see that you have your team you just created. Click it, and if all goes well, I probably won't. While that's loading. Oh shit, what did I do? Now it's loaded all 5, and then it brought up the first one for me, right? So what I want to show you is now under your World of Warcraft folder, you'll see the config WTF, and then you'll see config-name-server.wtf. These you will only see by doing the export through ISBoxer. These are what ISBoxer is controlling or adding their own override buttons to, so that pretty much these are your ISBoxer settings. So if you see those later, that's what they're in there, right? And it created everything for us. So give me a second. Oh, so over here in the top left, you're gonna see these 2 toggles. If you hold Control, Alt, Shift, G, remember the key bindings. Control, Alt, Shift, G. So what that does is brings up the in-game ISBoxer control panel. This allows you to move things. The first thing you want to do is grab this over here and bring it somewhere else, a little more centered. Right? And then you're going to sync. If you watch all the windows at the bottom, it moves them all over. Save, and then Control Alt Shift G, and it goes away. These buttons here are your overlays that we'll look at in a moment. Whoops. All right. So hold on 1 second. So this right here will turn key maps on and off. 99% of the time they're going to be on. That one you really don't worry about. This is the one that can really screw you up. If you notice, there's nothing going on the rest of my windows. But if I hit this button here, they all have a mouse. That's where you can come down here, you can type, your password, Now you are going to have disconnects. Okay, so I am getting these out of order. This one should be 7. I should have paid attention more. Bam. Alright, so now you have each of your accounts. Come up here, click, and like I said, you want to move them all up to the top so that you're not trying to select them all. Double click. Now, they're all logged in completely different places. And they've all been transferred elsewhere. Can I get them all to the Great Seal? Bam. Okay, so if you click this button, you can have them all move around. If you don't, then that's it. You only control one at a time, and that's what you're going to be doing most of the time. And like one of my guys is right here, so I can actually show you. If I just tell him to, if I click the 1, 2, 3, he's gonna follow me. Now if I hit F8, I'm gonna go to my main guy. If I hit F8, it's automatically inviting all the other ones to join. Right? I turn broadcasting on with F5, and I hit accept. Bam, they're all on the team. Right? And since I don't have the action bar set up yet, I'm just going to turn that on. F5, I have my Hearthstone all in the same place. I click it. They're all going to Hearth at the same time. That way I can get them together and show you guys the rest of it. Now, you notice that the party leader is staying the same every time, right? So, to complete the setup so that you can actually get going and playing, remember the key bindings for assist me, follow me, interact with target, the ones that we had set up. You have to do those in-game as well, or they're going to override each other and cause conflicts. So, the first thing I do is make sure everyone is out of any additional screens, right? Turn on broadcast. Key map should always be on. Now you hit the escape button. Key bindings. Everything you do is being reflected on the other accounts. So it's very simple. Since I'm using F keys, the first thing I do is I remove bag binding. And thankfully, they're all here. And that right there, that F12, I'll unbind it. I use B is fine. Toggle bags, targeting. I don't use any of that. Turn it off, and then you can go back and look at each one to make sure that, you know, they're all staying the same. Turn it back on again with F5. Again, it's so much easier than clicking the button or not clicking the button. Just F5 is on, F5 is off. So, movement keys, pitch up and down, follow target F2. So I wonder if these were stored on server side, because I thought I had deleted these, but either way, that's how you're going to do it. You're going to click it, and then let's see. Whoops. Press a key to bind. Why is it not? Okay. So you might have to turn off map keys. Something's changed. That's it. When you have map keys on, it doesn't reflect the text for text. All this is fine. Jump, number locks. That's fine. Mouse button. F5. Go to chat. Nothing needs to be changed in chat. Action bars. Alright. So, you have your action bars. And that's where these buttons are going to play in. Right now is 1 through 0. So the multi-bar is bottom right. So this is actually, even though it's on the top and it's on the left, this is actually called bottom left. So these bottom left keys, you now have to bind to, we added an alt tab. So I'm not sure if I can broadcast these or not. Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3, Alt 4, Alt 5, Alt 6, Alt 7, 8, 9, my hands aren't that big, 0, dash, equals. Turn off the repeater, make sure that they are good. Okay. So F5 multi-action bars. Did I just changed the wrong ones? I sure as fuck did. So your action bars are right here. Those should not have been changed. Make sure those are all back to normal. Okay. Multi-action bars, bottom left, these are the ones we changed. Let's make sure we're all on bottom left. That one worked. So, click on that, Alt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Alt 7, Alt 8, Alt 9, Alt 0, Alt dash, Alt equals. Turn off the repeater. Make sure they are all correct. Alright. 5. Go to targeting. So, interact with target. We're going to make sure again, like we had set it up in before, it's going to be F4. Assist is going to be F1. It should automatically there. You don't need to do an attack target unless you want to add one. Add it as 3. I leave 3 blank personally. It's just my preference. You want to start adding more stuff, that's on you, you can go for it. Toggle bags, that's all good. Miscellaneous. The other thing. So for my setup, I have these over here, as you can see. So before we get too far, let's just hit OK, hit return to game, turn off the repeater. Control Alt Shift G will bring up this window. Remember how we moved these? Now we can move these windows here around. So in my character out here, if I hit 1, 2, 3, oh, gotta turn on key map so they know that I'm saying it. All of them are going to follow me. Every one of them. But if I was to raise my pet, no one else did. Right? So what we need to do is we need to find a way to tell the other apps to do so. So that's what these are. Standard means 1 through 12. So 1 through equals. You want to take this and get it and put it over this as well as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. And these are the alt keys. We just assign the bottom left, even though they're on the top left. It's an old setup where they were on the bottom left. You're just going to pull this over and set them over those buttons there. What that does now, and now sync, and you notice on all the windows down below, they all got moved to the same place. Save, then Control Alt Shift G, and that goes away. That's all you need. So now, whenever I click on, I come out here. First, they're all following me. And I click on a button, every single one clicks on the button that's assigned to their location in the same place. So on mine, if you notice, aren't the same. Velmart's got a different setup than the other one, so he was trying to heal somebody. So, oh, he's also in blood mode as opposed to unholy. So it will click whatever's in the alt 0. Here's alt 9. You know, you can bring out the pets, and then everyone else can. Everyone's going to repeat whatever's in their slot, which is why it's kind of important to make sure everyone has the same thing set up. So as you notice, all of my Hearthstones are in the same place. My Death Gate's in the same place. The Whistle's in the same place. These right here are for the allied, you know, race-specific traits. Over here is the Dark Command to force them to attack. I do not have that in the same place on all of them because I don't want them to attack all. If I want him to attack my main character, which is the Carrion, he's got 741k, I don't want them to attack the alts. So the alts have it moved out into a different area. Now, I just transfer these characters over so they're not all working. Another thing is you got to worry about is whenever you start doing spells that require action. So like Death and Decay, right? When you naturally cast Death and Decay, it needs you to put an area. An easy way around that is macro new death at feet, right? And what you'll see is use at player Death and Decay. So I'll hit save. Actually, this is supposed to be DND at feet. I don't know why it didn't show up. It was on the generics, right? And I will put this over. So now instead of me hitting, even though it shows that I don't have the spell on the board, actually it does now. It actually shows it there, right? If I was to click it here, it needs it. But now, if I'm on my main character and I need to fight somebody and I want them all coming, tap it, every single one of them cast it at their feet. Now later you can get in, look into it, and you can get them to follow you in a line so that you can actually spread this out. You can add delays to each character. So like the reset or the cooldown on it, I think is what, 8 to 10 seconds. Then you can add a delay through the macro, an IS boxer, that when you click it, it has a delay of that time so that you can actually keep the dot up nonstop. In addition to that, the add-ons now that you've been adding, all this stuff is all through IS Boxer. So make sure that IS box here is loaded at all times. The only other thing that I would suggest you add is EMA. And I'm going to go through all of them. Make sure, oh, this one didn't get it. So there we go. I got F1, F2, right? They're following me, they're assisting me. I want them all to take the same flight path. You notice that once I hit assist, their targets change. What is this saying down here? Oh. Did I forget one? Nope. Alright. So when I hit assist, their targets change to whoever my target is. If they're facing them. So the good thing for that is if I'm over here and I want them to go interact with the target, then I just get close enough and I hit F4. They're still out of range, I guess. Or it's not bind. The bind did not take. Interact with target. Well, don't know where the disconnect is. What they're supposed to do, I think EMA is overriding it right now, is interact with the target. But that right there will get you set up and running. Make sure all your stuff is in the same place. They'll follow you around. And now everything becomes simple. I just wish we could death grip the shit out of them and pull them in multiple ways. But it doesn't work that way. And the thing is, most spells, whenever you cast them, they're going to target something anyway. So even if you don't have a target, they're going to target the next thing closest to them. So like I was saying, the Ludarang, I have a macro down here that will do the toy engineer level 1. As long as you have the toy learned, everyone else can do it. You do that right there. You swipe the wheel down, and everyone loots. And the bags are full. Because I just transferred this character over and I loaded his ass up. So this right here is bottom right. And that's number 1, and that's something I did not set up yet for each of these. Keep bindings, multi-action, bottom, what is that? Would be bottom right. Number 1, wheel down. Then we gotta go to camera, zoom in, it's up arrow, zoom down, down arrow. Okay, turn the game. So now, no loot available. I keep forgetting that I reset everything, so like all these you've got to go back in here and make sure auto loot is on. Auto cancel, dismount and flight. And the bags are full, that's right. Scanning. Well, they all did loot, except for one who doesn't have the macro. Okay. I really wish the general macros would carry over. So I wouldn't have to create a new one every time. Yep, nothing available. Mouse down, nothing available. No loot available. So now it creates it. Obviously, I gotta do some changes. I just transferred the other character over to make them all in the same place, so I still got some moving around on my action bars. For some reason, it did not want to keep everything where it's supposed to be. And that's the basic, guys. I mean, the boxing overall is just easy. So the other add-on was the EMA that I just did. And what this is, it works hand in hand with IS Boxer. Basically, you go to team, communications, auto set team members on and offline. I don't know what any of that crap does. Message display, whatever. It's default chat window. It's gonna come down there unless you have them all in the guild that no one else is listening to. Then what it does is whenever you auto sell stuff, they'll tell you how much their repair costs were, and then how much profit they made off the auto sales. So your team, you're gonna hit sync with or click this button right here, which is IS Boxer. So it's gonna bring them all online. Your group, leave it the same. IS Boxer, click down here and hit sync. That means every time you change this around, every one of these are gonna have the same updates. Now you only do this on the main character, and the reason why is you can push it to the rest of them. Tunes, follow, auto follow after combat if you want them to. A lot of these things, if you use, may conflict with IS Boxer and your other keybinds. So keep it very basic. What I do suggest you do is, don't use that strobe shit. That just means you're always hitting follow on a character. So if you try to switch to a character who has a side quest or you want him to go and talk to a different vendor, as soon as you let go of the mouse or let go of the W or S or S key, he's automatically going to return to following the character who's strobing the follow key. So I don't suggest using that. What I will say is team is promote to party leader. Auto accept from team. That means as soon as you accept a quest, you're going to share it with the whole team, and the whole team will automatically share it. Decline from strangers. Accept from friends if you have them on your friends list. Auto set all assist. What else is there? Group boxer, follow. Auto deny duels, auto deny guild invites. And no, well, if they're all in the guild, then you want to obviously do that unless you want them out. Leads prompts, accept summon request. That only works for RAF. Or summons to if you're in a team or a raid and they're summoning you to the raid point, this will automatically allow your team to summon everybody. Roll checks, accept ready checks, instant teleport with team. Now what this means with team is if you are on one and you hit ready, then the rest of your team will hit ready. If you roll on something, then the rest of your team will roll on something. That means you don't have to do it multiple times. You don't have to hit the toggle button or the F5 or however you have it set and hit /roll. You roll, they're gonna roll. That's just, it's all done through built-in macros in here. Auto accept party sync. That's good for leveling. You create 5 new accounts or 5 new characters, and you want to sync up, which is what I'm going to do with Valmark. These 4 are going to be 2 of them going to be one allied races, and 2 of them are going to be DKs just to go along with them, or mages. I might throw mages down there. But either way, I want to do party sync, so and quest sync. So I'm gonna hit it on the lower level character, and the other 4 automatically gonna accept it. Follow again, not after that. Talk, forward messages and whispers and relay back. Don't know what any of this shit really does. You need to figure it all out yourself if you want. Item use. Yeah, I know I'm getting attacked. He'll be alright. Show item and bar. Okay, so another great feature of this add-on is it has this bar over here that is pretty much like an additional bar. You can put it on so that they're easy to get to. So, I mean, you're using the overlays. If you're a mouse clicker like I am anyways, it's easy enough to hit F5, hit the stuff that you want, and you're good to go. The food or whatever it is. But what you can do is, if you want to add... This guy has a lot because I literally just moved over, transferred him from another server. But there's a stupid example to use Jeeves, but here, Pumpkinhead. So right there, if you notice, it's supposed to be on all of them if they have it. It doesn't mean if they don't have it, then they're not going to be able to put it on there. But it's another, what, 6, 7, 10 buttons. It's pretty much 10 additional action bars, and it just, you put something in there, you can hit sync, and if they've all got the item, they'll all use it. So for instance, the death gate, I know they all get death gate, so I can put that there. I can hit sync, and now they've all got death gate in their except for this fool here who doesn't want to play. Another thing about EMA is a lot of the features take place after you set it up and you come back into the game. The first time you have to just get everything running, push it all. I don't know why they're not taking it yet. Currency. This is up to you. What it does is it will create a overlay on your screen that can tell you what currencies the rest of your team has. Keep it short, simple. Don't include the money in the guild bank unless you have it. Here's the overlay, and what it will do is it will do it for your entire team. Again, once you reload, it'll tell you how much gold is in each one, how much of corrupted mementos, prevent the mana pearls, visions, titans, everything, or whatever you want you put up there, and it'll tell you every character. Then it'll tell you the total for all of them, and this only shows up at the beginning. I'm not sure if it's going to update now or when I log back in. I'm pretty sure it's going to be when I log back in, because the first time around it doesn't do it. And you can automatically close this. You can have it hide it in combat. You can change the sizes of it. Space for gold. I'll leave a little bit. Space between values. Now I know damn well I'm supposed to have other characters there because it gave me all the spaces for it. Quest. This right here is auto accept quest. So accept quest for the team. That means if I walk up and I accept a quest, I'm automatically going to share it with the rest of them and they're all going to accept it automatically. Auto accept any quest, that means any quest pushed through them, but we've already told them to only accept stuff from the team, so you can put that as yes. Regardless of team selection, I would put that as no. Only accept with the team. Tune auto accepts escort quest from team, yes. Master auto share quest when accepted. That's what I'm talking about. Like whenever you pick up a quest, this will automatically share it with the rest of the team, and they'll automatically accept it. It makes things a lot easier. If you complete one and you hit complete, the rest of them are going to complete it as well, automatically complete the quest. You want it to do it with the team. That way no character gets out of sync with the rest of them. And the thing about it is, over here, if these are highlighted, it shows who's got follow on, who's broken follow. Green means they're following fine. Again, this isn't going to work until I log out and log right back in. I keep it on each tune must select their own rewards. The reason for that is not everyone's going to go up at the eye level at the exact same time. They're going to have different gear. I mean, the range drop is so rare or random that not everyone's going to get the exact same items unless you go and kill the exact same bosses over and over and over again, or you complete only quests that give a specific item. That's the only way to do it. Or you don't run multiple specs. Here is the one blood and the rest are all unholy. So for me, I don't want them to accept the same thing. So when it comes down to our quests, and I mean now it doesn't matter because they're all out high leveled any quest gear, but in the long run you want to make sure they all pick their own, and it only takes 2 seconds. Come over here, pick the one, hit accept. Come over here, pick the next one, hit accept. Or they can pick the gear, and then when you're on the go back to your main one and hit complete quest, and the rest of them will notice that the gear has been selected and they'll complete the quest as well. Tracker. So I don't like Blizzard's tracker now that I have theirs, and the reason for that is on here, if I was on a quest, and I don't know how many, I don't think any of these other guys are on the quest at this. Oh, right. So as soon as I do this, show image tracker on master tune, don't hide anything, push settings. So the push settings doesn't work. I'm going to have to log off and log back on. But what this will do is it will actually show you every one of your characters. If it's kill 15 of something, it's going to tell you you need to, or say it says kill 10, then it's going to tell you to kill 50 of them because you technically need to kill 50 of them. But if each one gets credit for it, then every time you kill one, you're going to get 5 points. So it pretty much sums up your total quantity of what you have. And then over here on the side, it tells you how many are complete. 1 of 5 are complete, or 1 of 5 are actually on this quest. And then on the side, it tell you how many are completed. So it's not bad. This is just a big add-on for multi-boxers. Mount with team and dismount with team. Don't ever dismount with team. The reason for that is there's a lot of quests that you can fly around, your team can follow you, you got to dismount to pick up something, and everyone gets credit, but you don't want everyone to dismount because you may be in a large aggro area. So mount with team means you mount, they should mount with you. Enable auto loot. Tell the team if you've got a rare. So if they pick up an epic bind on equip, or they pick up a mount, one of your alts loot it, you're going to get a notification like a boss mod add-on, whatever it is, letting you know that one of your team members just got some good shit. Or annoying as hell if you're going to transmog run and everything's BOE and worth absolutely fucking nothing. Trade, I don't know any of this crap does. Bank, it automatically puts shit in the bank if you open up the bank. automatically puts things in the guild bank. If you open up the guild bank, automatically mail shit. Vendor's the next one. So automatically sell items on, automatically sell great items. Yes, I automatically sell rare items that are soulbound only. I sell known toys. I do not sell known mounts because most of the mounts that drop, you never know if they're tradable or not. I don't know why it doesn't say. Are they all freaking soulbound now? I mean, I don't even know. Maybe they are. But that is it. And you can put items not to. So you, I mean, you can put a blacklist item on there. Purchases, you can tell it to automatically buy their food if you want. Repairs, I do automatic repairs. I have to take off the guild funds. Now I want to push settings, and I really want to see if this works. So what I'm going to do now, F5, I'm going to tell them all to camp. And the reason for that is I want this to reset. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure why the interact with target is not working. I wonder if I did not set it properly in Iceboxer. Map keys always on. Toggles, base, interact with target F4. It is working. The internet with target should always be on. I don't know why it's not walking up to them. But that's the basics, guys. I mean, it's very simple. People make it out like it's all hard, but that is A to Z. I mean, they're all mounting, and then once you get up, once you mount, again, turn the repeater on, throw the mount on, hold the space bar till you're all up in the air, turn off the repeater, have them follow you, jump in the same mount, do whatever. I mean, this shit's really easy. Sometimes I'm trying to see if I can get it to break. If you go too fast, sometimes one of them will break off or something, but I mean, you can get them stuck. You have to watch out for certain things. Bam, right there. So you'll notice on the Windows itself that it's not following down here. So you just gotta go back and pick it up. Now the EMA, once you turn it off and turn it back on, EMA should give you an alert. I don't know why it's not alerting me that follow was broken. Yeah, see, it should have. And the thing is, these aren't receiving the push from EMA, even though it knows it's my team. So I'm going to see if maybe I have to tell all of them who the team is. That might be what I have to do. Bam. Okay. So now that I hit push, it sent it. This one received all the settings. It's still receiving settings. Right? And I can hit close. There. Close. 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 So, request log, come up with something. Hit track. Do you want to track this for all tunes? Hit yes. Bam. So what that does now is, over here, it tells me everyone that's on the quest and what their status is. So we all have 4 of them, 4 or 5 have to go do the visions. Which isn't right. That's weird. So who the hell they're saying they did them already? Either way. So now let's try the whole. And the thing is, now when I switch, you are group leader. You are the group leader. It automatically makes whoever your active person is the group leader. Damn it. I'm trying to. And I'm going to get logged off. And that's not the password. Hold on 1 second. Try that again. They're all following me. I'm gonna try to see if I can get them stuck. Ah, see? Now it says follows broken, follow broken. The other 2 broke. That's what it's supposed to do. Now you know you can go back. The other thing that they do, and I don't know if I really want to open this up because I'm not quite sure who has what. Make sure I don't do it on Valmart. Gina Bear, yeah, she can do it. So they're in a different phase. Because Gina's already completed all the stuff for this area. So what I can do is, remember I was telling you about the auto sync? Party sync, hit OK. Everyone should say yes. And now we're all in this together. So now, make sure Valmart does not hit that store. I will lose a lot of shit. Gina Bear comes over here, makes a repair. Automatically it says repair cost. She sold everything. 37 items, made 43. So obviously that was a loss. But that's what each one's going to do. Especially if you tell them to interact with the target, which I'm not going to do right now because I don't want Valmart to hit it because it was a freshly transferred tune and the bags are full, and with the current settings it would sell pretty much everything in there, which is not what I want. So I got something new. What the fuck is that? Not really new, but okay. And that's the basic, guys. That is going to be chopped up, this video. I'm going to chop it up. I'm going to make it really small. I'm going to upload it to YouTube. And that is the gist of everything you need to know for the basics to get up, running, and going with boxing and WoW. It's too fucking easy. I mean, there is no reason multiple people. See, this is the fun part. Why you bitches didn't want to follow? Yeah, see? Especially when they all have Azurite, then you just... But... Mouse wheel down, they all loot, and that's the end of it. Alright. Hope that was informative. I hope that did something better than what the other ones were. And I know that there was a lot of yapping, but I mean, that is all it takes to multi-box. And you can do that with Azurith, Autopilot, and level all the way up. It took just over a week and a half, I think, to level every one of these up to 120 and complete the war campaign, every single war campaign, to get them at the to be continued part, along with the Black Eye Empire to get the cape and their first vision quest. So, I mean, right now these guys are just going to grind together and get all the rep they can for dailies, and then they're going to go on transmogs. That's all I'm doing with them. Didn't come across another group except for once. Came across a couple people who thought they were bots. Other than that, you talk to them, that's it. But there's nothing more fun than having 5 DKs all hit the Army of the Dead and popping out 50 fucking ghouls to go attack whatever you're messing with, especially PvPing with it. So good luck, have fun, and I guess I'll see you next time.